How you look is the reaction you get from everybody around you, is how you feel, is how you're reflecting your sense of self-worth, and also just your whole feeling of still being in an active and ever evolving world. Well, hey, everybody. It's Diane Gilman, formerly known as the Queen of Jeans on QVC-HSM, but now the proud host of my podcast, Fashion Thursdays with Diane. Do you remember back when you were a kid and you were always told, act your age, dress your age? Well, guess what? I'm in my late 70s and people are saying that to me again. I can't believe it. But what does that mean? That means basically the ugly truth about dressing old and the fact that you are definitely after 50 and that change of life going to have to reinvent yourself and who you are as you walk out that door every morning. So I always ask myself this question: how can I dress my age without looking old? And let me tell you what, at 79 years old, for me, that is almost impossible. Where are my icons? Where are the women I should look up to who look fabulous when they go out, who still care, who are willing to invest in a bit of wardrobe to modernize themselves? What I see a lot in an age range of, let's say, 55, 60 to 80 and beyond is I'm waiting for the smell of the mothballs and the moths flying out of the clothing. Women seem to think past about 50, 55 years old that they are not worth investing in anymore, that nothing is going to happen in their lives that's exciting enough or glamorous enough or romantic enough or active enough or new enough to motivate them to update the way they look. But realize this: we live in such an amazingly virtual, ever-changing world that you cannot just stick your feet in sand. Recently was at an event. I don't know if I think a lot of you who are in your 60s and beyond remember a brand called St. John's, when Chanel was really powerful and everybody wanted a Chanel jacket. This was a more simplified version of it in a heavyweight knit, hung off the body correctly. It was a huge brand, really, really represented Palm Beach wealth. That was 40 years ago when that was a hot brand. And yet, if I'm at a social event, which is sort of the age ghetto for me, where everybody is close to my age, you will see them pulling their St. John's out of the closet. And there is nothing, to me, more unforgivable than telling yourself that either A, you can get away with it, or B, you're living in the past, or C, it's not worth investing in. It is totally worth investing in. Guess what? We are a graying nation. We're, in fact, a graying world. We're going to live longer, hopefully enjoy life longer, and probably work longer. And how you represent yourself to the rest of the world is how opportunity and respect and learning and having fun and being active and being relevant is going to affect you. I hate to say it, but honestly, fashion, how you express yourself through fashion, is a passport to how you build your particular customized world as an older woman past 55. So what I try to do to not dress older than my age is, and it's really easy to do on the internet, I get little fashion reports, what women are wearing in New York City on the New York City streets in the wintertime. And that's how I came to honestly have a pretty fabulous faux fur collection of coats. First of all, they weren't very expensive at all, which helped. And so if you made a mistake, it wasn't the worst mistake in the world. But also, my deal is what can I wear that spans a few generations and looks as good on me in my late 70s as it would on a woman in her late 40s? That was one thing I did to my wardrobe this winter. They really updated it, and I have to tell you, I got, if you can say they're fashion reviews, fabulous fashion reviews, even with strangers walking up to me on 57th Street, which is such a fashion street in New York City, saying, "Oh, I love that coat and I love the way it looks on you." Okay, give me a little feedback like that. I'm ready to go. So I try to do that for the major seasons, at least for winter and spring, summer. So what am I doing now that we're walking into spring? Monotonal. I'm working on it, and it's not easy. And yeah, I haven't bought lavender yet, but I just found an incredible waxed jean in baby pink, shell pink, really light pink. So I've got the sweater now, cashmere. I've got the scarf, Hermes, I'll admit it. I just bought the jeans, J. McLaughlin. I have Barbie pink Gucci loafers. I think that's going to become my favorite outfit. And the next color I'll work on, if this really looks visually great on me, I'm trying it all on this weekend, will be pale butter yellow. I already know that I love monotonal in a neutral, like a light beige or even a rich ivory. But it's not so easy because I'll tell you what, between inflation and tariffs, there's sort of been a disconnect from manufacturer and designer to the public. They're predicting butter yellow, but I haven't found anything in butter yellow. And then if I wanted to kind of get off the yellow on yellow and yellow thing, I'll wear an ivory t-shirt underneath it. And I have a couple of scarves that will express it too. I love seeing it here with beige or with ivory as a support. This is my look for spring, summer, and if it works, I would even carry it into fall. But you cannot go to one designer or one manufacturer and put this together. I wish I could, but so here's what I did. I bought, and it is really a gorgeous piece of clothing. I'm hoping and praying it fits. Because nothing is made for my body, even at my leanest as an older woman. I've still got this rounded whole tummy midriff area thing going, which makes me have to get a larger size in a bottom to fit into the waistband, and then the legs are never quite as fitted as I want them to be. To buy the jean from J. McLaughlin, I have to say it did not disappoint. It is the best shade of pale pink. Oh, gorgeous. Matches my Gucci loafers. I bought a pale pink t-shirt from Amazon. Not so sure I love the neckline that much, but I'll tell you what, the color was spot on. Then I went to buy a hoodie. Can't find one that's dyed to match, ever. However, my hidden weapon is in my closet shopping. How you look is the reaction you get from everybody around you, is how you feel, is how you're reflecting your sense of self-worth, and also just your whole feeling of still being in an active and ever evolving world. You know, the good news for me is I was in business all my life. And if I wasn't wearing my own brand, DG2 from HSN and QVC, I was buying samples from high-end European brands and keeping the samples after they've been measured and used and color calibrated. So I have a series of blazers in my closet that I can start to, and one of my favorite outfits, which is, and here's the important part of how to dress your age without looking old, buy classic, timeless pieces. Because after a certain age, I would say 55 or 60, you don't want people calibrating your age anymore. You don't want them guessing or thinking you look older than you should, or you're dressing younger than you should, which I'm going to tell the story about in a minute. You're timeless. Now I can take a major overview fashion theory like dressing monotonal, and I can use that by closet shopping. So if you've got those great corporate blazers, don't throw them out. Don't give them away. Keep them. Make them more casual. COVID, if it taught us anything, was about dressing casual. Now, another color that's supposed to be really strong for this season is newgrass green. I don't see that anywhere. I've got a blazer that's newgrass green. I might put that now with a white or ivory tailored jean bottom. If you, as an influencer or a fashion editor, are going to make these claims, you got to be doing your research and have these garments from a series of manufacturers, high to low, rich to not so rich. But I'm not going to wear an aggressive green like that. But if you poured a whole cup of cream or white into that green and it was pale and it was mint and it wasn't challenging to the complexion, oh yeah. Now you can hear the excitement in my voice when I talk about this, because honestly I like that challenge of a new season. And how do I want to look, and what do I want to wear, and then how much do I want to spend? And you don't have to spend a fortune, especially if you can take at least one piece from your wardrobe, if not two, and repurpose it. And that brings to mind the sandwich theory in fashion. Huh, Diane? What are you talking about? Those who know, and they know, say that what you buy for a season is the filler. From the neck up, chances are you got your hair, whatever the style is, and your makeup, you're pretty together with that. That's an easy walk. That's a piece of bread. Hopefully, from the waist down, you've got at least 3 to 5 bottoms in your wardrobe that you depend on, that always fit, that you don't have to be terrified of if you gain a couple of pounds or lose a couple of pounds. And those are your foundational bottoms. But it's the sandwich filling in the middle that changes per weather change, per seasonal event. And this year, I'm going to say, I think that's where we're going. I think there's a way to make them a little more citified, a little more urbanized, a little more cutting edge. I'm still looking for the perfect bottom, so don't get me wrong. That is never going to end, but that is such a challenge past the age of 55 or 60 when you go through that change of life. The sandwich theory is those basic workhorse and accessory pieces, which I usually make print, as in a print scarf, that are going to take your foundational pieces and change the look. It is so important to look modern. And you'll notice if you are on social media the way I am, and I am also a participant in social media and on as an influencer, TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, giving my thoughts on fashion. It's so important to move forward, and you don't have to spend a fortune. So to look really new, really special, and quite honestly, be a beacon of light to other women around you, to love yourself and take care of yourself. You will be amazed at how younger generations treat you if you are into that mode of fashion passport and not dressing your age, dressing for timelessness. So there is also a theory called the 333 theory. Do you have 3 items, tops, that you want to buy to put into your wardrobe? Like, let's say, the perfect oversized linen shirt that you can wear 3 days in a row. Each of those days, make it look new, make it look refreshing, like you really own it and it's your own. I love these kind of looks. There is A great linen shirt for, I think, no more than $29 on Uniglo. They do gorgeous quality of linen. It's 100% linen. It's oversized slightly, but you can still tuck it in, tie it at the waist, wear it out, belt it, scarf it. Those are the kind of pieces I'm looking for. They are at every price level. Absolutely. And there's where mix up your color a little. But Uniglo will come out with 8, 10 new colors every season. You may have built up during the Barbie era a lot of pink pieces. Well, maybe you want to go for a deeper pink or a mauve now and start to make a tonal outfit. It's one color theory, but it's a lot of different intensity of colors. So that 333 idea. I'm always looking for ways to take care of my body and have it express itself through that healthy glow. And I think I found what to me is a miracle. It is called Omra. It's got all sorts of collagen. It's got peptides. It has vitamins. It has minerals. And it's just this tiny little scoop of it. I don't even take it with juice. Honestly, I just pop it in my mouth. It tastes like butterscotch. It absorbs quickly and it makes a big difference. As you age, even if you are eating correctly, you are absorbing less vitamins. That's just what happens to your body. You need a supplement that's easy to take, almost instantaneously gives you results, more energy, better looking skin and hair, and helps you form a healthy habit and start to get all the nutrients you need. That is Amra. I love Amra. I think is brilliant. But I'll tell you what, if the clothing you have is not timeless, one thing that has changed, literally been a revolution since 2012 when we started to get into COVID, is if you are older, go more casual. I have a lot of knit hoodies now. I happen to love cashmere knit hoodies, but I don't buy them from an old lady brand. I buy them from J. Crew, which is always considered a younger brand. But it's that timeless sense of style. Now, timeless also to me, albeit at different price points, equates to quality. So I was thrilled to be able to find a Uniglo, which if you don't have one in your town or city, buy it online. Had mass produced, and I mean massively mass produced, where their orders to factories are like 1 million shirts at a time. So they get an incredible price. They are experts in milling the very best quality of linen or cotton, and you get something that's very rich looking. You didn't spend a fortune on it, and now you can take some of the money you saved and spend it on accessories. But whatever you do, if you believe in the sandwich theory, you're talking about constantly refreshing the pieces on the middle part of your body. And this is also going to be a great year for necklaces, costume jewelry, making a comeback. Yay! And printed scarves. That's where I'm going to pick up a print. I am not going to invest in clothing with print. Not for me. Doesn't have that timelessness, but also this way I can switch in and out. I can go for more intense color. I can go for less color. If you do not want to dress old, I am a huge fan of very clean lines, very simple adoption, which means somebody asked me, Diane, you never wear ruffles. Oh, no, I don't like busy. Now, for yourself, ask yourself this question. Where is the most impactful area for you? I have two. One is my hair. My hair is always oversized, has a lot of strength of character to it, and draws a lot of attention. I don't believe in more than one hero area of your body at one time. So I would never put together this kind of hair, which is really foundational to me, with something that was all ruffly or had a really busy print to it. I'm all about making things simple, clean lines, neutral colors, and yeah, pink or a shade of green can be neutral if it's pale enough and has a little bit of gray to it, not so bright, and simple silhouette. So what's the other hero part of me? Skinny legs. Yay for skinny legs. Huge midriff. Oh, what are you going to do? So I tend to like narrow, tailored, fitted pants, and I've morphed a lot, but I'm going back again from jeans, skinny jeans, to sophisticated leggings, sophisticated in color. Now I'm trying to get back into jeans again, and along with those clean lines, neutral colors, and simple silhouettes, make it dyed to match, tonal all the way down. I guarantee you will look like a fashion genius. A lot of women, as they get older, don't necessarily feel they've got the energy or the ambition or the drive to be out there totally discovering new fashion. But one thing that really works in our favor is stretch, as in spandex. Do not think that if you wear baggy layering on baggy jacket or shirt top, on baggy bottom, that you are fooling anybody. You're just hiding yourself. And that look is so overwhelming. So I have to say, where I see these fashion predictions all the time, it's like, oh, baggy jeans are so in, skinny jeans are so out. There's no in and out these days. You know, we are, if you're over 50, the majority of the shopping power in America, and yet nobody makes anything for us. Don't try to get younger and wear what those girls are wearing, because I guarantee you, if you are wearing a super baggy jean, you are showing your midriff or your stomach. You're showing a part of your body that's lean and controlled to play off to that baggy bottom. Go for your strengths. Take a good look at your silhouette. Ask yourself, is this going to make me look timeless and elegant but modern at the same time? Or do I just look like I'm a fashion dog following a fashion bone and a trend that has nothing to do with me? So for me, I take all of this with a grain of salt. And I see it, actually, I think I get it on Yahoo or Google, what women are wearing in Milan, what women are wearing in Paris, what women are wearing in New York. And there's a lot of attainable stuff. Like, I love trench coats. They're timeless. I even have vintage trench coats I've had for 30 years. They're still in my closet. They're very evocative of the 70s and they still look great. Take a look at all of these. And there are definitely, yeah, I could wear a jean jacket. Yeah, I can wear a jean, but I'm not wearing a baggy one. For sure, I can wear a trench coat, basic layering and t-shirt. Yep. And so you already see there's possibilities for you here. It's just how you take a look at your body and say, what are my proportions? Do I want to be more fitted on the top because that's where I'm lean, or do I want to be more fitted on the bottom? But here's the deal. Don't try to hide yourself and don't think you can fake it till you make it. You can't. And don't pull trendy 40-year-old stuff, which I have. I'm not going to say I don't, out of your closet and think that that's going to be mistaken for new. It's not. You know, I was out with, and I've got a lot of younger workmates and younger friends. I was out with somebody and they were looking at an older woman and saying, I'm waiting to smell the mothballs. No, you don't need to do that. But also enjoy yourself when you're dressing. I think it's fun. I think it's fun to honestly discover something new. And when we talk about the 333, triple three series, which is take three new items, buy three new items for a season and wear each of them 3 days in a row. I actually did that this week. I changed it with necklaces. I changed the look with scarves. I changed the look with cashmere hoodie. I changed the look with accessory. I changed it with obviously different bottoms. And you know what? I was so happy. I didn't have any stress on the way I was dressing. I already knew what the item was going to fit like. And I didn't spend a fortune. Believe it or not, even for an old girl like me who's pushing 80, there's a lot at H&M. There's a lot at Uniglo. There's a lot at Zara that you don't have to invest multiple hundreds of bucks in, but you can look new and fresh and relevant and in the know and create your own fashion voice. So my final story is, and I know I've kind of told this before, but in the mid 80s, I did, well, actually, about 2 years ago, I did a ton of international travel. And I remember it was the 80s, which is now coming back as kind of Y2K fashion, where women dressed like young schoolgirls, like you'd have on a pleated quilt that was a mini skirt and maybe thigh high boots or you know, a to the knee sock and a Mary Jane. And I remember we were stuck at Narita Airport waiting to get the next flight, which was deeply delayed to Hong Kong. And I'm in the first class lounge, and there's an incredibly attractive woman. We're like, all the seats are taken, so we're sitting way too close to one another and hearing one another's stories. I figure she was about 40, 42. Great body, keep up. I mean, she was really muscular and together and no cellulite and tanned. But at 42 to 45, and you're wearing literally a 12-inch long plaid kilt and almost like a Catholic girl's school jacket, you know, a blazer with a crest on it and contrast piping. I mean, I'm not saying the outfit didn't stick in my mind 40 years later, and I'm not saying she couldn't carry it off, but when you looked at the face, it didn't match the outfit. And so when I talk about that old rule that I always heard as a kid, which was act your age, don't act like a baby, or dress your age, don't dress too provocatively, I have to say that counts for now too. You don't need to pretzel yourself to dress younger. You are going to be going into a zone where you don't really want to be counting the years. You want to be seen as kind of timeless and floating along. And that's what your fashion needs to be. And my other theory is don't dress backwards and don't say it doesn't count. It does. And the respect you will get and the way people will change their whole way of dealing with you to admire you more because you keep up with the times and you care, that is not only ageless, it's priceless. So let's have some fun with fashion and not dress too old. Thank you so much for listening to Too Young to Be Old podcast. The episode may be over, but the fun doesn't have to stop here. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube at The Diane Gilman, or visit our website at dianegilman.com. If you like the show, leave us a rating or a review and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And until then, don't forget, age is just a number. Together, we'll prove that we are all too young to be old.